All right, class, today we're going to be working on this cute little bee that I swear he looks like he has a little goatee. This was found on, it's either Upload. I usually make a note and I didn't. It could also be reference photos for artists. So if you can't find it, or if you wanted to look for some other things to work on, then that's a good place to start. Now, you'll notice how small this bee is on this large piece of paper. We're going to make him larger so that we can show a lot of, see these wonderful little shadows of his legs and his body and stuff like that, and make a nice big size piece of art. And so, you know, we don't just have this little bitty tiny thing that's smaller than our hand. So you're going to need your brush because we're going to be working with our pencil to get him drawn in real quick. And then we're going to be working with the colored pencils, of course, on top. You're going to need your eraser. And one of the ways that we always try to decide, oh, it's a bee, he's yellow and black. But honestly, there's not very much yellow in him at all. This is a cream color. So it's a lot of white with a little bit of yellow. And you see that along the edges of some of his body parts. And so cream is going to be a better color for that. Obviously, you're going to need some black in for the legs and different things, but even the black areas are not completely black. Now, this is goldenrod, and these lighter color little hairs that we're going to be putting in this area and back in here, possibly a little bit into the wings, is going to be done with layers and layers and layers. Now, this is mineral orange, and it is obviously a lot more, this is a lot more golden than this is orange, but this is in the shadowy bits of the front part of our bee. So we have these four so far. Then the wings are definitely a redder color for the little veins that you find in the wings. And then right through the center of those red spaces is a dark brown, and along obviously the outside, some of the dark brown is going to be in the legs and stuff as well. And then for our shadow, I've chosen 70% cool gray. Now, if you don't have a gray, gray is created with black and white. And you can practice on another page, mixing the gray that you have with the black, mixing gray, just using black and white. And then you can add just a touch of blue to it. Oh, there was a blue. I'm going to have to get my blues out. In the highlight of the eye, just a little bit, there is a little bit of blue. I was thinking this might be blue enough because it's a cool gray, but I may actually go with this. It was the gray that, or the blue that I had chosen. Anyway, so you want to make sure that you hold the pencil to the color you're trying to match. And if it's very different, like this is a warm gray, and you can see that it's not exactly the same. It might be hard to see on camera, but the cool grays tend to have a little bit more of this blue to it, and I can get dark and softly get lighter, you know, as we blend away. So you're going to want a variety of colors to start with. So print off your picture, choose the colors you're going to use, and the most important thing is you can take on your picture on the back and write down the colors that you use, because if you don't and you pull out, well, I don't know how y'all keep your but you start putting colors back, you're not going to remember which colors came from which colors you use, and you'll have to start choosing all over. And I've had a lot of students where they go, I'm not sure if I used mineral orange or just orange or whatever. And then they start using orange, and it was definitely mineral orange because orange was too bright, and they'd already put it on the pictures. So it's not really ruined, but you just have to use that orange in other places to make it all kind of tied together. It's adding steps and stuff like that. So write down the colors that you choose. Okay. All right. Everybody get your mechanical pencil, and we're going to start our drawing. Well, I'll be darned. Here it is. I knew I had it here. And we're going to see that the back of this bee isn't much bigger than our finger, but we're going to double like the size of him. So keep this picture very close, and you're going to notice that this big body part right here is a gigantic circle. Okay. So if you need to, you can put a couple of marks on your paper, you know, like this, like I want it to be this big. And then you're going to be able to tell yourself about where you're going to put your picture, your circle. And we're also going to notice that it's not just a circle, it's a little bit elongated. So just outside of circle, right into an oval shape. I'm just gonna lay that down. This is not wanting to stand up. So I'm going to go a little bit larger like this. And then I can erase away the line I don't want. And this is going to be the back part of our bee. Now, right down the middle, if we come down kind of a curved line like this, this is where we're going to find the head, and it goes at a little bit like the body's coming this way, and then the head is going a little bit more horizontal. So we're going to come out and make this part of his head here is a little bit larger, and then you've got most of the head filled up with the eyes. On the outer side here, that is actually the eye. So there's a little bit of the face showing on this side and not on this side. And there is a little section that these antennae come out of. And they're just two parallel lines. They're shorter here, much closer to the eye. So I'm going to scoot that in a little bit. Look at your reference photo as you draw. It comes out more of an angle. And we can go back and do any adjustments that we want. Now, there's two parts to this antenna, but the one on this side is really short because it's foreshortened, and then the antenna is coming in front of it, the second part of it. So part of the antenna is being it's not in view. Okay. So on this outer side, if you want to just kind of lighten these lines and leave them dots, that's perfectly fine. Now the next section, here's the oval that we did, comes all the way back into here, and you can see it through the wing here and connects way back into towards the middle of this circle. So if I were to divide the circle this way, this is about where the next section comes off. And it's a pretty good size as well. So I'm going to go a little bit farther. And this is just a guideline. We haven't, nothing is final until we're happy with the shapes that we have. This is comparative. This is, one finger. This is one, possibly two fingers. So if this is 3 plus, then this needs to be about 2. There we go. That's about right. So I'm just going to round it out a little bit more, not so square on the back side, and keep going. All right. So we have our basic shape for our bee. Go ahead and connect the dots just so y'all can see it better. I'm looking at the monitor and it's not showing that. I am going to connect it to the side of the head because it should be. This one is the side of the head. Okay, so we're good. Hopefully y'all can see the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. All right. So now we're going to look at just directions for the legs. And this one goes a little bit slanted, then straight down. And then there's this little foot. Look very, very carefully at your positioning of these things as well, because it comes right up underneath the head. So it's going to come right up underneath here. And there is a tiny little bit that comes out. And then there's this oval. Make sure you're making it twice as big, since we're making the body twice as big from 2 to 4, that you make these legs twice as big too. Don't make tiny, tiny little short legs on a big giant bee. He's going to look kind of funny. So if the whole leg is 2 fingers, remember how you can just tell yourself by putting a dot about where that section is going to be. This one, oh, sorry. This one actually goes out just a tad this way. And then it gets skinny at the ankle part. So, and there's this little triangular, little tiny section that's hidden by all the fluff of the bee. And then over on this side, really close to his face, is this one. You don't see this on the other side. It's covered up with that fluff. And right behind this antenna, it's going to end. So if the antenna is, like 1 finger width, it needs to come out 2, right? So your antennas, you can't draw the antenna too short for this piece. And this antenna actually goes towards this foot. So I'm just going to change it and then do my erasing. Well, that's how long these antennae are. Going into this little section, there's a little mustache for him down here. So funny looking. Okay, so I'm going to erase those inner lines. We don't need them for any reason. I don't want to. The next leg comes up and then makes like a V shape, and then it goes more of an angle, and then almost perfectly horizontal. And that comes out of right as this is curving. So we're going to come up a tad, get all nice and full looking, almost like it's muscular or something. And we need to make sure we make them twice as long. Then it comes out more of an angle here, and then has the foot going sideways. There's this little thing on the end of the foot that almost looks like a 3-pronged claw, but it looks like this. Like there's one in the middle, and then and there's this bar across. So look at your reference photo, and you'll be able to see those. This one shows it really well. This one does as well. This one's just one-sided because you're only seeing it from the side. The next set of legs on this right side, coming right in between here. Each one of these legs has like a barb, and it comes down through the antenna. And then the foot goes out this way and has that little triangular point end there. And this is not the foot. This is the antenna. So there's not a triangular one on there. So foot, and those two are very close together. So see how close together they are? Then you're going to come around the body, but not into the back part, and put in the neck section. Now these have got a lot of hairs, so we're just going to kind of sketch in where those might end up being. And this is definitely about 2 fingers. So when you're coming out here from there, you make a dot, and the end of that leg is going to be way out to this dot. So I just wanted to make sure I'm making this big fuzzy part large enough, and it ends there. And there's this smaller rounded part, and then the foot with the little triangular part. So this is going to be the really hairy part. This is the connection right here between the two. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Now on the other side, we already have this leg. So just remember, if it's 3 on this side, turn your book in the same direction that you use your picture, so that you can go in this direction. You're going to go, kind of in this direction. And so I'm just going to put down 3 and 3. Let's be right there. So they're quite a ways away from the body, these legs. And so I want you to make sure that you make them large enough. Okay, they're going to look really large. Sorry, all my pencils are rolling. I'm going to put the eraser there to hold them. And I am going to turn the book this way. I'm working on this part of the leg. And then it's very hairy on this side, straighter. There's another one of those barbs. Every single leg seems to have one. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. I figured we would just do that with the pencil, but see, there's even one here. I don't know if that's just to help them, like, they can hang on to the side of a building almost, like, how do they hang like this? They've got those little claws that help them to hold on. It's not just their toes. So anyway, back to this leg. Is coming down, and then it goes back this direction. Okay, so there's that little curved part because there's the barb, and this goes back and is rounded, almost like a calf. Comes into a V shape, and then that little foot comes out here. So this looks like it's very similar to the line. So I really want to change that up a little bit. So I'm going to go out and change the direction, and then come back to this piece. So I always like to make my changes, and you can use any eraser that you want to. I'm just used to wanting to use our soft erasers. So if the eraser on your pencil is getting really short, kind of like this one, you might want to choose to use the bigger one as well. So this back leg is coming off out from underneath here and almost touching this other leg, almost. Then you've got that really hairy part, and it ends in a curve. And you've got that kind of thigh type part, and then the leg actually the toe actually kind of comes back this way. So I'm going to move these or erase these dots, but I've got it in the right place. I just have, all right, now we got this big old huge bee filling up our page, and that's what we want to do. I'm not sure why that's so dark, but we do want that. He is very big. He just is. And we're going to put on the wings first. Coming out of the middle line, if you haven't erased that, that's probably going to be helpful to you. We're going to come out past the body. So here's the end of the body here, and look how far past the body that is. So we're going to come up not quite straight. I'm just going to change that a little bit. And it is very rounded on this side, but it goes a little bit flat. So we're going to go a little bit flat and then very rounded and come back to that middle section right here. It actually would come in a little thinner than that. So I'm going to lighten the lines that are behind it, but I'm not going to get rid of them because I need to know where the blacks and the browns and the oranges and everything goes. I just need to the wing is clear, so you're going to want some of these to show through. You just want those to be a lot lighter. Now on the other side, I want you to look at your reference photo very carefully. See where my pencil is? That is part of the wing. So it's jagged a little bit here and connects into this black space and then goes way out this direction. So here's our foot, and it's going to go way out in this direction, and you want these to be kind of opposite each other. And because you're seeing this be a little bit more from this side, as you can't see them on the other side, there's like a hinge for this wing that is right at the end. There are two little ball shapes, and then the other part of the wing divides the body almost in half. So if you can kind of think of where that halfway mark is, it's going to come up like this, and right at the back end, just a little bit past, it does this kind of scalloping effect. So that's going to be your second wing. And we're going to go ahead and very lightly, and we can always go back in, and I'm just barely touching my eraser. You know, I'm just doing the drag. Those of you who've had me for pencil drawing will understand that. And we're going to add in these, I'm doing them a little bit darker just so that you can see them. Don't make yours quite as dark. We're going to add in the veins that are in the wings here. And if yours doesn't look exactly like the picture, then you know it's his brother or something, because not everybody's wings are going to be, like exactly the same. So the pattern on them, it's kind of like our fingerprints and stuff. So we're just going to see where these are, add them in. This is the triangle. Oh, I was putting too much in the top part. My bad. This wing goes all the way down here. I'm seeing this tiny little bitty wing, and I've got to make it longer. So this is the, I'm just following the shapes. So if you see this big triangular shape and then this smaller triangular shape, and that's the way to build up those. And this is the curved part that goes all the way out. And there's like a little oval part and a smaller oval part. And those go out as well. And so we're just going to kind of leave it at that. And this part just shows the body through there. That's just the body. Because you can see a bunch of this gold and a little bit of this black. It's very gray that's going to be through there. Then we're going to go over to this wing, and I'm going to lighten the body so I don't mix it up with what's the veins and what's the body. And way back here at the back is kind of this shape. And then you're just kind of building up the shapes that you see. This one comes into the body a little bit, so we're going to go into the body. And from that little one, there's like 3 smaller ones that come to this side, and then it goes almost horizontal. So it's almost horizontal. And then there's that big triangular part again that was on the other side. And there's 2 sections of it. So this is this big section here. And this has a line going across. That's where that top is. Okay. Now we're going to jump down to his face. So at this point, if you can't see it, you may have to get a magnifying glass because he's got some interesting little parts and we are close enough to him to be able to see them. He's got, like if this is his eye, he's got this little, where his eye kind of bugs out from the surface of the body. And this eye goes behind, no, it doesn't. My bad, sorry. It doesn't come past the antenna. It just it's ending right at the antenna. These are definitely ovals, and they might even have a little bit of a point at the top and the bottom of this one, but not on the other one. It's definitely an oval. And then it's got its little skin part. Then right inside here, whenever we do the fur of the back, a bunch of little, hairs come down into this space as well. And not sure. Nope. I was thinking there was, like we have these little balls back here, that there might be a couple on the face, but those are just hairs. So we're going to do those. These are little hairs, tiny, tiny, tiny little short hairs around the outside of the face. The only thing sheer and smooth and shiny will be the eyes themselves. All right, so we've got the basic outline going. And now we're going to put in underneath this wing and going across the back. It's almost straight, but not quite. It almost kind of does a lump and then another lump. I don't know if y'all can see that. And then it goes back with this lighter color. So anything under here is going to be the lighter color. So the black stripe is actually only on the top. So underneath these little ball things is the fuzzy white part. And then right in front of them comes the 2 little sections. So it goes like this. And then this black part doesn't go all the way to the edge. It has, I'm sorry. It comes in through here. And even in front of this other wing, there's a little bit of white back out on this side. out here in front of the wing. So the black doesn't go all the way to the edge is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so on the back part, there is a tiny little bit of black as it curves into the base right through here. And that's just going to be dark brown and then reddish brown and then sienna. And then the back end is going to be black. So let's just move that line so we don't confuse ourselves. So this is where the top portion, the lighter colors, kind of end here, and then way back here towards the back, it ends again. So you can put a little B in the sections that are going to be black if that helps you to see that. Now, right in between here, might be a little bit of black, but it looks like dark brown. So look very, very closely at your B picture. And I did kind of like these little water, like, you know, wherever he landed, he might be getting a drink of water or something, but there's not any close enough to him that it's not going to, you know, really get messed up or something within our picture. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the bee and the really cool shadows of this one for our project. So I want you to print off your picture, draw him twice as big, twice as wide, and fill up your page with your bee. And remember, we need plenty of room to do our shadows as well on him. So don't let your wings go off the top. Look at your perforated edge. You're going to choose the colors that you want. Turn over your paper, write down your colors. This is very important, so that when we just get started with the colors and everything, you'll have it all ready to go, and we can finish up our bee project, and I'll see you then.